Matt has an incredible smart story. He came to us, about 6 years ago, as a father, a new single father. His babies, his significant other passed away, and he had his little 3-year-old baby girl. Came into Smart and took us by storm. I mean, just the most incredible, passionate, brilliant young man who, it didn't take long for us to recognize that we needed him on our team. And now 6 years later, Matt went to school. He got full custody of his little girl right away and has been trained in restorative justice. He's been trained in the Father's Nurturing curriculum. He has been trained in mental health first aid and is now leading our Father's programs in Boston. And I'm going to ask Matt if he would come on and facilitate our panel and ask our families questions. But Matt, if there's anything you'd like to add, please, I'm giving you the floor.
Good morning, everybody. That introduction, I gotta write that down because that was that was well said. I was sitting up here thinking how I was gonna do it, and thank you. But the only other thing that I would like to add is that honestly, if you haven't heard about Smart, or if you want to believe in what Smart does, I'm a walking billboard, and I'm more than open to talk to anybody. I'm on the front lines of everything the COVID fight, and I'm just out here to help, man, and give back to the community that I grew up in. So if there's ever any questions, if you go on the website, my email's on there, or if you know how to contact any of the staff. If you want to speak to me directly about Father's programming in Boston or DC, I'm here. I'm open. Just let me know anything I can do, and I'm willing to help. But basically this morning, actually, another thing I want to say, I'm sorry, is that before I was hired as an employee, I was a family leader. And being a family leader, it came with the responsibility of, doing, going above and beyond just being a client, reaching out to other families, trying to let families know what Smart does, connecting with a lot of other dads, a lot of other moms, sharing resources. As I went through school, I just always let people know what Smart was and show that I was proud to be a family leader. And this panel, it represents the same thing. It's a whole bunch of other families, a whole bunch of family leaders that I see in action. And I see them step up all the time. Anytime we call upon anybody or we need help, they're always willing to go above and beyond. So I just want to let you guys know how special the panel is that you are seeing up here. And I just had a few questions that I wanted to ask everybody, about what we went through over the past year during the pandemic, the changes they seen in Smart, and how, things just affected them. And the first questions that I wanted to ask are for Mona Lisa and then Gabby. And it's when the pandemic hit.
Wait a minute, Matt. I just want to ask you all if you would just introduce yourselves so that folks know who you are and who your kids are and that sort of thing before you answer your questions. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. One more thing. She'll kill me if I don't do this. I have a 9-year-old daughter named Madison, and she's in 3rd grade. She loves Smart. Everybody loves her. The kids love her. She loves them. Like, Smart just took us in like a family, and we just been, doing it ever since, for 6 years now. Ever since my baby was 3, she's 9 now, and she loves everybody, and everybody loves her. But if I didn't introduce her, oh man, I know she's listening in here. But besides that, like Miss Sherry said, could you guys just introduce yourselves before you answer the question? So the first question is for Mona Lisa and Gabby. And I say, Mona Lisa, you can go first, and then Gabby. When the pandemic hit, what were the major concerns in the community? And how did SMART, with guidance from the family leaders, respond to those needs? What services have been the most helpful? And Mona Lisa, I ask you to go first, please.
Okay. Thank you very much, Matthew. My name is Mona Lisa Plewa. I am a resident of Charlestown and a mother of two children. I have my eldest son, 10 years old. He's in fourth grade, and the youngest one is 5 years old, and she is in kindergarten. Um, I became part of the SMART from the start since my eldest son is 1 year old, and now he is 10 years old. That's how long I was with Miss Cherry and the organization. And I'm so grateful and I am so happy that I meet Smart from the start because 10 years ago, I came here as a new immigrant in the United States, wherein I don't have any family or any relatives at all. But when I found the Smart from the start, they became my family support, a friend, and most especially, they helped me a lot to meet new friends and to be involved in any activities in my community, which is I am very grateful, and all the services that they are given to all the families, especially my families. And the answer to the question regarding uh, during this pandemic, uh, the pandemic is so hard to every one of us, but I'm so grateful and so thankful of the Smart from the Start organization that they continues to guide us and help us by giving us foods, which is the basic struggle of the community, where to look for food. And everybody, especially during the lockdown, where everyone are in struggle, everybody lose their jobs and don't know where to get some foods and financial support. But I'm so grateful with Miss Cherry by calling us and asking us what we need, especially the food that they are providing every week. And then they are also asking those families who are very struggling that they cannot even afford to pay their bills, including their house rent. But Miss Cherry and the entire organization are very generous to give us an emergency support to able to afloat in this very struggling pandemic situation. And despite all, I know that the pandemic make us all isolated, but it never stopped us and the Smart from the start to continue what they are doing to help all their family members. And I'm so grateful for all of that even though we are isolated, but we adopt the new normal, which is to meet each other through the help of Zoom and continue to participate all the programs, all the wonderful programs that we offer to all the parents, all our children. The family fun night is very fun for the children, and all this workshop, anything, financial resources that they offer to us, health education, physical fitness, how to make us all fit even in those stressful situations. And I'm so grateful to all of you and to all the family that help us and all the sponsors of the Smart from the Start who are continuous to be generous and kind to all the families, especially that majority of the Smart from the Start families are low income families, and we are so grateful and thankful grateful for all your kindness. Thank you.
Thank you, Mona Lisa. Gabby, did you want to introduce yourself and answer the question? The question is, during the pandemic, what were the major concerns in the community, and how did SMART, with guidance from family leaders, respond to those needs? What do you think has been most helpful?
Hello, I'm Gabby, also known as Gabrielle Austin. I am a mom of two boys, Gabriel and Gavin. I the Smart, well, from the Smart DC campus. Since becoming a part of the Smart, they have taken my boys, their dad, and our into their family. And I remember when I first came encounter with the Smart, I was attending a back to school event, community event in Ward 8, and they was offering free books for the kids. I stopped at the table where I met Miss Jania, and she asked how old was my baby, and I said 2 months. And she started talking to me about the program that the Smart offered called Baby Basics, something like a mommy and me class to help improve our bond and development of my son. I was a little hesitant about going, but after receiving a warm embrace and welcome on the first day of class, I fell in love. Since being with the Smart, they have helped assist me with achieving my goals, trainings, and partnerships and connections with genuine people and support. It's been a delight working with them and being a part of this program. I brag all the time to my family and friends about the Smart. During the pandemic, one of the major concerns in my community, um, it was lack of resources, lack of food, and Smart stepped in and provided basic essential needs, food, diapers, wipes, virtual programming, tutoring, and one of my most favorite was the self-care and mom groups where I was allowed to connect with other moms and talk about real life daily issues and struggles that we were dealing with, and especially during the pandemic when everything shut down and we was home alone with the kids with little to no support. But we was able to come together, help encourage and uplift each other, and not only as moms but as Black women.
So I have another question, and thank you, ladies, for answering that. Thank you, Mona Lisa, and thank you, Gabby. I appreciate you guys. The next question is for Miss Walker and Erica. Um, could you ladies, as Gabby and Mona Lisa did, introduce yourself and then answer the question? Well, the question is, which programs have you been participating in on Zoom since the beginning of the pandemic? And what are some of the highlights and activities that you and your kids especially enjoy? And Miss Walker, you could go first, and then Erica.
Okay. Good afternoon, family. My name is Natalia Walker, and I have two boys and a 1-year-old Yorkie. So my 18-year-old is Brian, and my 4-year-old is Mustafa, and the 1-year-old Yorkie is Buttercup. I am a Washington, D.C. resident living in Woodland Terrace and was introduced to Smart through Miss Sharonda. She will always see me in the neighborhood and always invite me to family fun night. Since Moo was in Taekwondo on Wednesdays, we could never make it, but I would always stop past the Smart Center to use the computer lab and share resources I knew to benefit the family. I like to keep myself busy, so when the pandemic hit, I was looking for ways to use my time and to bring some ideas to life. Smart was there for me and my family as soon as the pandemic started. We received materials for play groups, and I was able to attend several groups on Zoom. We received food every week, We received gift cards. We received regular calls to see how we was doing. I was able to join the workforce development program and receive my CPR first aid certification, COVID cleaning certification with Mr. Paul Thomas, guest services certification, and my food handlers certification. Sorry. Not only this, SMART has economic development workshop where I was able to learn about saving, buying a home, which I plan on doing by my 40th birthday. I was able to attend a workshop on saving and how to have passive income and all type of things that will help me flourish during the pandemic. I currently own my own cleaning business, Two Boys in a Bucket, and I'm also a part of SMART's Community Advisory Council, where I'm able to share what's going on in the community. I look forward to growing with SMART and taking advantage of all the things that they is participating.
Thank you, Ms. Walker. Erica.
Hi, everyone. So my name is Erica Rodriguez, and I actually started with Smart about 6 or 7 years ago. My oldest is 6, and I am a mother of 4. I have a 6-year-old son, a 4-year-old daughter, a 3-year-old son, and a 1-year-old son. So my journey first started off with Smart through WIC. I learned about them through a flyer, and I signed up with the program. I did the prenatal course. And from there, I started and I kept going. I did most of the programs in person, except for the fatherhood one, obviously. And I also was on the family leadership team. And I also went to Washington with them. And during the pandemic, let me backtrack a little bit. I also took the financial course with Eric Hall, and I learned about home ownership, starting a business, and all those things. And from there, my idea came to go back to school and actually want to start a business, become a business owner. And now I'm in school for business management, bachelor's in business management, and I will be almost done, which I may be graduating in May. And I have received services during the pandemic with actually, we have gotten the food boxes, gift cards. We've done the activities. I also participate in Inhale and Exhale. We did Week of the Child. What else? My son does Zoomies sometimes, and we've done Family Fun Night. So we've done a lot with Smart, and we are very appreciative of Smart ever since the whole journey. And we're glad to be part of the family.
Thank you, Erica. And I just want to add, me and Erica came into the program around the same time. And I know I don't get to see you a lot, Miss Walker, but I just want to tell you, ladies, I'm extremely proud of you guys because I've seen the progress, and I just want to congratulate you guys on what you guys are doing, and just listening to the things that you said that you was doing. I know like day to day, days just fly, but just hearing you guys' accomplishments is just like, you guys been on it. And I just want to congratulate you guys again and let you know I'm proud of you guys.
Thank
and I know
you.
everyone else is too. And the next questions are for Ranisha and Dunya. And ladies, I just want to remind you to introduce yourself and then answer the question. And the question is, SMART's evaluation shows that over half of SMART families reported a decrease in depressive symptoms during the pandemic. Why do you think that is? And Ranisha, you can answer, and then Dunya, please.
Hello, everyone. I'm Ronisha Johnson. I have 2 boys, Blake, which is 7, and a 1-year-old. His name is Brent. I've been with the SMART for a long time, maybe like 6 years, 7 years, but it's been a long time. I can't even remember. And ever since I've been with them, it's been very welcoming and very confident for me and my family. During my time with the SMART, I've obtained my special police license, and ever since I got that, I've been certified in first aid, CPR, AED. I have a CDA in child development. I've done multiple different courses, different trainings. My kids enjoy Smart from the start. My 7-year-old actually thinks he works at Smart from the start, because they let him work around the house and clean up and assist the children at Family Fun Night. He actually thinks he gets a paycheck. It's a lot, but we love it. The fact that we were welcomed in and accepted for who we are. We kind of like got on a path where everyone was trying to become self-sufficient, and that's usually the goal. And Miss Cherie really helped me with that. Everyone helped me with that. We are family more than just an organization. So once I put myself with the small house, it was like I have a whole nother family that I could count on. Just with me and you guys going to Boston for retreats, I've done that. I've done sipping paints. We've just done so much stuff, and it's just been very welcoming and very supportive in everything that I've tried to do with my career, with housing, with childcare. Like I've always had them as my helping hand, and as a rock to lean on, and that's very, very helpful. Like coming from where we come from, we don't have that. We don't have the resources that we need. So when the pandemic started, it was just kind of like scary because you didn't know what was going to happen. But the minute I felt scared, I felt safe because they were calling me like, we have this for you. We have that for you. We're going to get 100 of you guys vaccinated. We're going to try to get more people vaccinated. We have food. My baby was just born. They brought formula every week. Like formula is expensive. Like he was on a different type of formula. They didn't stop them from helping me and my kids. They went out and got it. Like it's just been amazing, our whole journey. So anytime I'm needed for a panel, a commercial, anything, without a doubt, I'm there. It's not even a question. Like, and then I'm trying to make sure I say everything because I always beat myself up later. Like, I forgot to say that. So bear with me, y'all. But pretty much everything has just been A1. And I just appreciate you guys. And I thank you for accepting me and my family, my mom, my children, their dad. Like, we just love it.
So Ronisha, can you tell us why you think that the majority of smart families have their depression has decreased from during the pandemic?
Yes, I think it's decreased mainly because the support that we've got from you guys. Before you guys came along, yes, we had programs that came and went, but they never gave us counseling sessions. They never made sure we had somebody to talk to. They never made groups available to us at the touch of our finger by going on Zoom or even just walking into the small house, which feels like a safe house to us. We've had counseling groups. We've had therapy groups, even for our children. If our children needed someone to talk to, even as a whole, with me and my kids' dad, like you guys have worked with us, so that kind of like take the depression rate down if you're going through stuff. Because if you guys don't know, like in our community, we deal with a lot of deaths, we deal with just a lot of stuff and a lot of barriers that block us from being able to be sufficient in the real world. So once we kind of like see that we could overcome them obstacles, and Smart gave us those opportunities, it's like, be depressed for what? I'm blessed. Like, depressed where? Like, no. So we're not depressed. We are loving it. We're just overly joyed in everything that we learn. We're able to teach it to the next person or make it better or easier for the next generation so that they don't have to be discouraged from any barriers that's coming their way.
All right.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Ronisha. Donia, do you want to go, please?
Yes, sir. Hi, guys. My name is Dunia. I'm a parent leader from South Boston. Well, one of the two. I have a 5, almost 6-year-old in kindergarten, little boy named JJ. I joined through a flyer. One of my friends seen a flyer and told me about it, and I wasn't going to do it because I've been through programs as a child myself, and we never stuck with them. And then after the first maybe 2 visits with play groups and Smart, I was like, okay, nope, this is something good. So we stayed. I've been a part since 2019, I believe, and a parent leader since the summer of 2019. We already had a parent leader chosen for South Boston, but I decided like, oh, this is the actual other parent leader had said, this is a great opportunity. Maybe you should try to be one too. And I decided that was like a very great option, and I never regretted it. um, Smart has been such a positive resource for us in this whole area, whole society, with decreasing depression and just the struggles that we've all mentally gone through during this whole pandemic, with showing us connections within our society through Zoom and through social media itself. I know that we have a resource on Facebook. There's a resource group. We've connected with other families. We have therapy. We've also done first aid, mental health crisis training, and I got my certificate in that, which I feel like has helped me assess, helped all of us assess, like if we see anybody going through it, and whether it be in our household or through like social media posts, because we can't really be around people. Um, and we now are more able to reach out to people and assess the situation and help them get through what their problems are.
Thank you so much, Dunya. I appreciate you, and I appreciate you as well, Ronisha, for answering that. And my next question is to one of my colleagues, my close colleague down in DC, Walter Jenkins. And I just wanted to ask you, well, with the recidivism rate for young fathers returning to incarceration in DC, program is below 8%, with close to 90% staying in jobs at least 2 years after graduation. You are a graduate of the program, now working for SMART. What aspects of the program do you think contributed to that remarkable level of success?
Good morning, everyone. Walter
Morning.
Jenkins.
Walter, we want to see your face.
Can't see me?
Only like this much.
You gotta put the camera down some, bro.
There we go.
Yep.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Walter Jenkins. I'm a father of five. I have 4 girls and 1 boy. I'm an assistant coordinator at Smart from the start. To answer your question, brother, I would say I think it's because Smart has me, myself, and the brothers has taught us uh, accountability, self-accountability, and and self-control and self-awareness as well. A lot of times when you're coming up through the way that we come up, you just go with the environment, and you don't kind of sit back and look and analyze all the people that are counting on you and all the things you have to do and what you're here for. And a lot of times we lose focus and we end up doing other things that lead us down the wrong path. So I would say Smart taught us kind of like self accountability to let us know that we have a mission to, and we out here to do something. You're not just here just to be alive and party and live your life. It's you have a whole mission, and that is to bring up the next ones that come behind. And I think that's what happened to my generation, that the older ones kind of left us behind, and we didn't know what to do next, how to pass the torch on, or how to do anything. So Smart kind of taught us how to pick that back up and learn our mission again, and pick up the ball and keep rolling. So I think that's why the recidivism rate for my brothers and the people that graduated the program, because they know now what their purpose is and what they have to do. So before, with a person, you're blind, you don't know anything, so you're just going with the wind. Like Smart kind of gave us a direction. So I think, to answer your question, I think that's what it is: self accountability.
And I want to thank you for that, bro. And I just want to tell you, since meeting you guys, and it's been like 6 years, bro, I've been seeing it, man. So you guys keep on marching down there and keep pushing brothers through the program, and keep being the leaders that we know that y'all are. And my next questions, because I know for time's sake, I don't want to keep dragging this out, but my next question is for Patrice, then Randy. And remember to introduce yourself and then answer the question. And you guys, a leadership team with the support of staff and the board, have launched the Justice for All movement to promote unity and address racial inequalities our children and families have been struggling with. Why do you feel that J for A is necessary? And Patrice, you can go first, and then Randy.
My name is Patrice Barker. I've been with Smart for the past 10 and a half years. I have a 12-year-old, I have a 9 and now a 6, but we will be with Smart for a little while because my last boy is autistic. And it was with our True Smart that I was able to come to the acceptance of who my son is. Um, a very important part that I would like to point out here is that Smart had helped me to grow into a very successful young lady. And I am so proud to call myself one of the leader here in Mattapan. I have struggled a lot during my past 10 years. And to say today that I am one of the frontline workers helping to save life, I give it all to Smart because they were the one who picked me up, helped me through my depression, helped me to go back to school, helped me when I wanted housing. And now I can say that I am very, very proud to just watch other family members see how they get into it and to bring them in so that they too can become a better person. I love the Justice for All movement because as a mom raising 3 Black boys, it is very important for me to stay in the know and to help to see how much we can help to fight racism in our community and to make sure that we are getting our boys to understand how important it is for them to be in the know, to be educated, and to understand what racism has done and how it had corrupted our population. I am very proud that my 12-year-old was able last week to have a speech in church. And when he came to Smart, he was so shy. And right now he has a best friend that he met through Smart. And they're very advocate and outgoing young boys in our community. So I know for sure that Isaiah, who told me that maybe one day he want to be a police officer, that he will have a basic idea from as young as he is now how unfair society can be to us people of color. Even the other day when we had the George Floyd verdict, he was home on Zoom, and I made sure that it was very hard for me to sit them down and to show them the video. And I said to them, this is what you may face. And it may not necessarily mean that you're a criminal or you're a bad person, but it's just how bad racism can be. So I'm very happy to be a part of the Justice for All movement that Smart is doing. I'm very proud to be a family leader over here. I am so thankful for the food boxes. And I also want to let the board member know to continue supporting us because even through my home, a lot of family are eating because I was able to pack 3 barrels and send them to my country in Jamaica. So I still get to share what I receive and to take it into someone else's home who more so may need it. It is a great organization. And I must say that it had taught me to be a better mom, a better wife, and a better worker because I was very ratchet. I was just very angry. But I've learned so much through different counseling program that I went through Smart from the stress program that I've gone, how to just become more so now who I am today. And I am very, very proud.
Thank you so much, Patrice. And just to add, me and Patrice, my daughter goes to school with Patrice's sons. And like when I see these guys all the time, it really puts me back to like being young and always seeing my friends from school throughout something outside of school. And they always ask about my daughter. My daughter's always asking about them. So it's just like, those are my guys. Tell them I said what's up.
I
Okay.
will. They're in school and I'm excited. So they'll stay right over there.
Yeah. All right. And Randy, could you answer the question? Um, and the question is, why do you think J for A is necessary with everything that we're doing in the community to promote unity and address racial inequalities?
How you doing, everybody? My name's Randy Edwards. I'm the family leader with Smart. I have 2 sons. Josiah, he's 13, and Asai, who's 7. I first came to Smart when I was going through a tough time in my life. I had 2 surgeries. I had got put out of work. I was just feeling like a loser because I couldn't really provide for my family. So Matthew had invited me to one of the fathers group. This was before the pandemic shut everything down, so we actually got to meet in person. And there was a father he's still with the program now. He came in and just put everything on the table, told us all his problems, and we really sat there and listened to him, and it motivated me because I was a person that was always ashamed to ask for help, but to see him come in there and he didn't even know us. And I could tell that when it was over, he really genuinely felt better. So I was like, if just listening to somebody can make them feel better, imagine what physical actions can do, like helping them with other things. So that's what made me stay and feel good about working for Smart. And as far as J for A, I think is very important. My oldest son, Josiah, he's involved with J for A. And I think programs like this is important because it opens kids' eyes to what's going on around them. It makes them aware of what's going on and lets them know that you don't have to wait to be an adult to be part of change. Like Josiah was just telling me yesterday that they're discussing policy change in schools. I never had an opportunity like that growing up. But to hear that, that was crazy. So I asked him, I'm like, well, if you had it, what would you think about changing? He's like, I don't know yet. He's like, but I'm gonna think of something because if I got a chance to change something. And I was like, that's what's up, because I never, kudos to Jessica G too, because nowadays it's hard to get kids to stay interested in things that's serious. Like he's into Fortnite crazy, that's all he plays. But when it comes to J for A, he's really invested in it. Like he got mad at his mother because she took him to the grocery store with her, forgetting he had to get on and he missed it that night and he was upset. The only time I ever seen him mad like that was when he couldn't play Fortnite. So J for A is very important.
Yeah, thank you for that, bro. And yeah, just bouncing off what you said a little bit. I remember that night, and and I'm glad that you got to see what I did, because before that, Randy is my personal friend outside of the program before I even, told him what was going on. But all these guys used to think, and this is all my personal friends, some of them are dads now in the program because of Randy, because they got to see like, oh, Randy really started going, Randy really started buying into the program and going, let me see what's working. Why are they going? But before I used to just tell guys like, yeah, I'm going to the fathers group or I'm facilitating the fathers group. And I could tell guys like, oh, that's just something that he does. And I'll invite them, but they just seem too busy. Hey, HC, I see you back there. So, Randy, thank you, bro, because I'm glad that, you got to show me what I do really matters. Like, honestly, I see it through other families and all of that during all the time. But with a personal friend, to see that I was able to just reach out and help in a blink of an eye, it's just like, yo, man, I just like to thank you, man, for buying in to the program and believing in me and then believing in us, man. So I just want to thank you for that. And the next questions, again, one is for you and one is for Aaron. How have you been involved? And this means voter turnout, calling legislators, talking to other families, participating in trainings, conversations, and events. Like, what have you learned since you've been enrolled in SMART? And this is for you and Miss Aaron.
Aaron, would you go first and introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Erin. I'm a parent leader from South Boston. I'm a mom of 3. My oldest is 15, Patricia, Haley Ann's 9, and Daniel Michael is 4. I have been involved. I've done the mental health first aider training. I'm certified with that. That was a huge thing for me to get certified, as mental health runs in my family. My daughter suffers from it. We do the J4A. Patricia, it was on the Justice for All Juniors group. She had to step away for a little while due to her schoolwork. She had to bring her grades up a little bit, but she'll be coming back soon. I help advocate for my community, the families in the community. I've reached out to SMART on different occasions for different families that needed help with, food during this pandemic. What else have we done? I had a list and I don't know what happened to it.
Erin, did you do restorative justice yet?
What is it?
Did you do the restorative?
I don't think I did the restorative justice.
Okay, in the groups, what groups have you done?
I've done address the stress, inhale, exhale. I've done the moms group. I've done play groups. I try to get Daniel on as many play groups as I can throughout the week. He's just very not wanting it. I am doing therapy with Emily. Emily has helped my 9-year-old with, play therapy. I have Lorianne that helps advocate with me and sits on IEP meetings for Daniel. Daniel Michael is for an autistic. SMART's really helped me with him. I came to them thinking that I didn't know what I was going to do. He had vocabulary of 5 words. Now he's in school fully 5 days a week. He's talking full sentences. Everyone can understand him. SMART is a family to us, and we love our family.
Thank you so much, Erin. And Randy, we wanted you to answer the question as well, but just to bounce off a little of what Erin said, I love delivering to my South Boston families because this is a place where I never used to go, like honestly. And now when I go there, like they're just always out there, happy, welcoming to us. And I just like to thank you guys because you guys are just you make it fun going over there. And like we like seeing you guys during the week.
We appreciate the help that you guys give us. And Patricia apologized the other day when you dropped off food. She's like, I didn't recognize them until I seen the van afterwards.
Nah, it's all right. Because we seen her at the door and I didn't know it was her because her hair color changed.
Yes,
so
it did.
I'm like, is that her? And then when I called and you said it was her, I was like, yeah, that's her. So tell her, don't worry about it.
Thank you.
I just want to say we've run a little bit over time, which is something that happens at SMART because we just get emotional and we get all involved. But since we have that question for Randy, we're going to go to the last question, which is rapid response for everybody. And then if you have questions for our families, you can, and you have time to stay, you can drop them in the chat. Or you can raise your hand and we will answer those questions, as many of those questions as we can. And so first I want to tell Matt what a fantastic moderator he is. You have been phenomenal. And guess what? I retire. So you will facilitate the panels from now on. And if any other leaders want to join him, you all are amazing speakers. So the last question, Randy, was also for you. What have you been involved in? But I'm going to, you all now are involved in the strategic planning for SMART from the start. You're working with a facilitator as the leaders. Our family leadership team are the leaders of our strategic planning process. But, and we know that SMART, we're raising funds and you have a lot of great ideas. If you had a magic wand or a blank check in one sentence, because we're going to go fast, 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 what would you wave your magic wand and allow SMART to do differently or more of with your magic wand or your blank check? I'm starting with you, Randy. One sentence.
I'd make SMART global.
I love that. All right. Mona Lisa.
I would want more fundings of the organization so they can expand more services to all the family.
All right. Erica.
I would say I would like more focus on mental health and healing.
All right. Gabrielle.
For me, it will be a big building so they could be able to provide all the services and resources to this whole city.
All right, Miss Walker.
I would want smart to have. I would want a smart to be in every state.
Ooh, that's a big old check. Dunya.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question. I've been doing online work with JJ.
Oh, if you had a magic wand or a blank check in one sentence, tell us what we could do more of or differently.
JJ, please.
Hi, JJ.
You heard Miss Sherry, JJ? You heard her say hi? She said, yeah. But I would love more mental health programs.
All right.
Throughout the community, not just
in our
here.
Got it. Thank you. Walter.
More facilities.
More success centers, right? We need a success center in Boston, hint, hint. Patrice. Miss Patrice?
Yes, my dear. Is it my turn?
It's your turn. Wave your magic wand.
I would say more counseling for us mothers because we need enough so we can give towards children. So more counseling for us and self-care.
All right. Love it, love it, love it. Erin.
It's smart to have everything they need to be able to help every family in need and more mental health stuff.
All right. I love it. I love it. Okay. We've got it. We've recorded it. We're going to play it for everyone. And we're going to find those folks with the magic wands or the blank checks, or folks who just want to contribute a little bit towards a greater service provision in our community. Thank you, guys.